utmost confidence in what my boy is doing. I'm going to tell you right now, he's better than Steph Curry to me.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
Not one championships.
Not two.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven. Hey, and when I say that, I really believe it.
Hello and welcome inside the Sports Sermon. I'm Dylan Staggy.
I'm Jason Gandhi.
I'm Zach Munson.
And today we have some very important stuff to talk about in these basketball series. Game 7 for the Cavs Celtics happened last night. Warriors Rockets Game 7 is tonight. So, big things going on.
Yeah, LeBron, not one, not two, not three, 8 Eastern Conference championships. That's what he was talking about, I'm pretty sure, when he went to Miami. So,
yeah.
Proud of LeBron for his 8 Eastern Conference championships. But yeah, let's get into it. Zach, definitely the pro LeBron guy. I'm the pro Warriors guy. Dylan's the pro Rockets guy. So we've got all 3 sides covered throughout the next hour-ish of this podcast. So let's go into the Eastern Conference first. Little game recap. You know, Cavs Celtics Game 7 on the Boston Garden. In the first close game, the lowest scoring and the first victory for a road team in the series, LeBron James played all 48 minutes, scoring 12 of his points in the fourth quarter for his 6th straight Game 7 win. Ty Lue used his timeouts to get his star an extra few minutes of rest when he could, and James didn't warm up at halftime to conserve his energy because he knew he'd have to play all 48. Jason Tatum chipped in 24 points, Al Horford had 17, Marcus Morris with 14 points and 12 rebounds for the Celtics, who were looking to return to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2010. Tatum had a dunk over James with 6:41 left, staring down the Cavaliers star and bumping him with his chest, then followed it with a three-pointer that gave the Celtics a 72-71 lead. Don't worry, that's the fourth quarter, not the third, like if the Warriors-Rockets were playing. But that would be Boston's last basket for more than 5 minutes while Cleveland went on a 15-2 run to put the game away. The 4-time league MVP, LeBron James, scored 35 points with 15 rebounds and 9 assists on Sunday night, leading the Cleveland Cavaliers to an 87-79 win over the Celtics and eliminating Boston from the Eastern Conference Finals in this decisive 7th game. So, before we get started, I have to admit, guys, there's a confession I've been waiting to make, and last night officially sealed it. Zach, we've talked about a while for my disdain for LeBron. I've decided that I will no longer hate LeBron. I will just respect him and enjoy the greatness. It's honestly pretty painful, like, hating LeBron, because it's like, he's so good, but, like, it's just not fun to watch. I will now be enjoying his greatness, respecting it all. Not liking him, but just enjoying the greatness that we're seeing in LeBron James.
Thank you. Even like Kobe Bryant tweeted out.
Exactly, Kobe tweeted
out.
Yeah. And like so many people are just like, why hate? And it got me thinking. I was like, it's not fun to hate. I say the same about the Warriors. Like, why are you hating on greatness? That's hypocritical if I'm hating on LeBron for his greatness. So I apologize for my 17 years of LeBron hate. I'm no longer.
You
a
hated
hater.
him when you were 1 year old?
I actually loved him when he was in Cleveland. When he was in Cleveland the first time.
You knew who he was when you were 1 year old?
Me and LeBron James Jr. like Snapchat, bro. We're super tight. Me and the James.
LeBron James Jr.
But no. So no more hate for LeBron. I wanted to make that clear. I put that little video in as my last time of hating him with those Eastern Conference Championships dig. But it's done. It's over. I will now respect LeBron. So let's get into the game. LeBron, did he just take the worst team of all time to make the finals?
No. The 2007 Cavs were still worse. If you want me to, I'll read the roster again. Larry Hughes, Drew Gooden, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Anderson Varejao, Eric Snow, Sasha Pavlovich, Damon Jones, Danielle Marshall, Daniel Boobie Gibson, Shannon Brown, David Wesley, Ira Newble, Scott Pollard, and Dwayne Jones.
Shannon Brown was on that team?
Yeah. He
went to the finals 4 times then. She's with the Lakers when they went to the finals 3 times. Jeez, I love Shannon Brown. Shout out Michigan State.
I definitely think that the 2017 was worse, but it was close. Like,
yeah,
I think that this is the second worst. The 2018 team is the second worst team to make the finals because, as you said, just no star power on that team besides LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, this team has Kevin Love. George Hill looked like he was somewhat competent last night.
Jeff
Tristan
Green.
Thompson can do things.
Jeff Green.
Jeff
played good.
Green.
Okay, let's not like exaggerate how good these guys are. Like, let's not be like, oh, Jeff Green. Like,
No, I was like, yeah, he
No,
had
he
a
had
good
a good
game. Yeah,
game.
he had a good game.
and like Kevin Love was out game 6 and 7.
Yeah, and obviously
So-
these guys had games too that like in the playoffs they sure.
Yeah.
Larry Hughes had a few good games. Like, but I said yes, it is the worst team. But I don't like. I think the 07 team is probably right up there. I said it's kind of like a 3-way tie with this team, 07 Cavs, and the 01 Sixers.
Who's in the 01 Sixers?
It was Allen Iverson and really old
Dikembe
Dikembe Mutombo
Mutombo.
who like couldn't even move. He was that old. But I mean, I don't think it's the Sixers. Like I looked it up and they actually like had a decent squad. It was just they didn't have like great big names. Like Allen Iverson won the MVP. Their coach won Coach of the Year. Aaron McKee won 6th Man of the Year, and Dikembe won Defensive Player of the Year. So they weren't like that bad.
Yeah,
So yeah, I went through it, but like you look at their stats and like you watch them play, they're horrible. But
They're not as bad as the
yeah, they're
Cavs
not.
are.
That's so I
Yeah.
went past there, and I looked at the 07 Cavs. I feel like you can't really like pick against like either way. LeBron still had 2 bad teams. Like I think I kind of like just count them even. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like there's still 2 LeBron teams. Ilgauskas was their 2nd best player and highest paid player on the team, Larry Hughes. He had the highest salary that year for the Cavs. So yeah, I think we're all pretty much in agreement. If it's not the worst, it's the 2nd worst. But they're horrible. They're just not good. And Kevin Love's barely on the team. Like he gets hurt, like you said before we started, like 2 times the playoff series. Like he's always hurt.
Yeah, anyway, so let's talk about LeBron's greatest achievements. What do you think they are? What do you think is his best one?
Well, I don't think that leading this team to the final is his greatest achievement. I think his greatest achievement is coming back from 3-1 against the Warriors, who were 73-9, the best regular season team of all time, and winning the first finals, the first championship for Cleveland in I don't know how many, like 40-something years.
Yeah, forever.
So I think that was a great achievement, but this is up there, definitely top 3.
Yeah, I have this or the 3-1 deficit. Like we just talked about how they're probably the worst team ever, if not 2nd worst. But Kevin Love was barely a positive in the playoffs. Like literally, Brad Stevens targeted him whenever he'd be on the floor. He even came out and said before the game, he was like, "Kind of sucks, Kevin Love." Like he said, basically he said like it sucks Kevin Love's not playing because we can't attack him on offense. Like he's so bad defensively. The 3-1 deficit, I think, probably gets the nod because it's in the finals. It's against that great Warriors team, and because it was that Cleveland, which you mentioned, I didn't even have that written down. That was a good point. That it was the first, like it has that it's like extra like 5% kicked
And it's
up
like
because
he came back.
and he
and went
came
to
home.
Cleveland.
All that I think, but I think like if you're gonna say, I think what was the hardest to do, I think this was. I think getting to the final was harder than beating that 73-win Warriors team, but I think in the public eye that'll get more love than taking this team.
Yeah.
All right, so I think the 3-1 lead was also the number 1 achievement. And then 2, like we just talked about, the 2007 Cavs, I think you got to give that the nod because he was only 22 years old when he did that.
But see, that's almost easier, but it's also harder. Like I think there's both ways because he's younger, so he doesn't have the experience, but he's also faster, quicker, and like technically he should be in better shape. He's probably
No.
not because he's probably in better shape now.
No,
than
he
LeBron,
better.
but
He
like,
played all
should
48
be.
minutes.
But see, and the other side, like he's tired, but he has all that experience of the last 13 years or whatever. So like I feel like that one I feel like is kind of even because they both weigh each other out. But you think the teams were, so I get that.
Yeah, and then 3rd, I think this team getting them to the finals.
On Twitter, someone said the block against Iguodala is his best achievement. I was like, that's one play. Like that's
It's
not
one play.
Yeah, like what? But yeah, so 3-1 lead. I do you guys agree that if it wasn't in the finals, it wouldn't be?
Yeah, I think because he won the championship,
Yeah.
so that has
Yeah.
superiority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, let's talk about the Celtics now, shifting over to their side. Who was the best player of their playoff run?
I think it was Jason Tatum. I think he was a big difference maker. He averaged in the postseason 18.5 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, and almost 3 assists per game. And he just hit big shot after big shot. As we said, that poster over LeBron James, as much as it hurt me, that was a pretty sick play.
Yeah,
and his escape dribble from the corner 3
Yes.
to shoot that 3.
that was such a good
And
move.
then got into it with the crowd. That was really cool. But yeah, hit clutch shot after clutch shot. He might even be their 2nd best player coming back next year. He might.
Well, according to Jeff Gundy, it's far and away the 2nd best player. You
Yeah, I
said
saw that.
I was like, you're an
I'm like,
idiot.
no, he's not. But
Like
yeah,
I give you the 2nd best if you say like I think he's the 2nd best, but like far and away.
I think Gordon Hayward's still better, but he's the 3rd. I think.
yeah, he's a fantastic 3rd option.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Like I think some would argue, I obviously would. I think some would argue he's a better 3rd option than Klay Thompson. I think there is a debate there from the Warriors side. But anyway, Dylan, who do you think's the MVP?
Yeah, I've also got to go with Jason Tatum. You can look at a few different guys. Terry Rozier, Al Horford, and Jaylen Brown. But Rozier was absolutely terrible in the
4
series.
for 10.
Especially
4 points.
last night.
0 for 10 last night
It
from
was-
3.
It was insane. Horford, he was also very consistent like Tatum, but he really just didn't have the same offensive impact I think that Tatum had. He really carried them through some of those games. And after, in the middle of that Milwaukee series, he really started to turn it on. And then after that, he just never looked back after that.
Talking about Tatum?
Yeah,
Okay.
he had like 8 straight 20-point games, I believe,
Yeah.
something like that. He broke it this series, but then obviously these last 2 games he's been insane. Jaylen Brown, he's been kind of up and down, more of just a 3-point shooting guy. He didn't play that well last night. So I'm going to go with Tatum because he was the most consistent offensive option.
I went Al Horford because I knew you guys were going to go Tatum. Like, I have Al Horford and Jason Tatum based on whichever way you guys would go. I think both, it's just a matter of whether you value offense or defense. Tatum was by far the offensive MVP, and Horford was by far the defensive MVP. I think Horford, just because, I mean, he virtually and physically took Kevin Love out of the game. He shut down their second-best option, and, like, that veteran presence that you can't see show up on the box score, I think is a big reason they were able to go to 7. Yes, they won defeated at home. Like, that's huge, but having that guy that's been here, played LeBron X amount of times, has that veteran leadership. Tatum, only reason I feel like maybe not is because, I mean, LeBron still bullied him. Not that it's his fault, but, like, defensively, he wasn't great because he had that LeBron matchup. But offensively, I agree, it's Tatum. I think Horford's number 2 if you value offense, and Tatum's number 2 if
And
you value
Horford hit those big late game shots against the Sixers.
Yeah, earlier in
like when they lobbed
yeah.
it to him in the post, and
Uh-huh.
but yeah.
All right, so the Celtics, obviously, they're a super young team, and next year they're going to be even better once they get Kyrie and Gordon Hayward back from injury. How good can they really be next year?
I think they can be second to the Warriors, and I think that possibly they can dethrone the Warriors in the finals if Kyrie and Gordon Hayward really step it up next year. I have been very impressed. I think, like, you look at that starting 5 of Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Al Horford. That is the most athletic team. Like, no one's touching that athletically. And they can switch everything on defense, and that's what Stevens loves to do. Like, it fits Coach Stevens, like, his game plan so well, where you put those two together. I think they are legitimate threats and are the favorite to come out of the East next year, whether LeBron stays or not.
Yeah, I think they're by far the favorite to come out of the East.
Yeah.
And as you said, Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward back. Like, it's unbelievable that they almost got to the finals without Kyrie and Gordon.
They were 5 minutes away. I mean, they were leading with 5 minutes
I know. That
left.
goes to show, like, how good of a coach Brad Stevens is, and also correct the players,
No,
obviously.
yeah.
But yeah, the sky really is a limit, and I don't know if they can dethrone the Warriors because I just think that they're so good. But I think they're definitely going to make the finals next year, depending on where LeBron goes.
Yeah.
Once we know, then we can make a decision after that. And yeah, so what do you think, Staggy?
Yeah, I think Kyrie and Gordon Hayward really solved the shooting problems from last night. Last night, they shot 34% and 18% from 3. Kyrie and Gordon Hayward both shoot the ball extremely well. Obviously, they're both veterans too, so they can both help to lead this team once they come back. And like you guys said, I think they are the second best team in the league next year. If not competing for the first, I mean, we haven't seen Gordon Hayward play basketball
In almost
with
2
the
years.
Celtics more than like 5 minutes before he was hurt in that first game. So I think the Celtics are the second best team in the league.
I think one thing that's underrated about Kyrie, though, especially in those last 5 minutes, it was a close game. Kyrie is hitting every shot. Like, he is so clutch, and that's the difference between this team and next year's team.
He's a closer.
Yes.
That's what they were lacking because they missed shot after shot after shot in the last. few minutes.
Not last possession, but one of those last possessions where it was a 3, I forget by who, shot it, rebounded by Smart, kicks it out to Morris. He misses it. Rozier gets the rebound, shoots it, misses it. Then they they stop him, get the ball back. Rozier gets another 3 in the corner and misses. I was like, okay, this is where they.
And Jaylen Brown came down and took up 3 and missed. They just didn't have a closer.
Exactly. So this is a question I was thinking of when when I was starting to write my notes down. Is so if you're LeBron, you look at the entire NBA. How many years do you think LeBron's got left? 5.
Yes.
6 maybe.
Okay,
I don't even know.
So around 5. Let's say around 5. Who is the bigger threat to stop you from going to the finals? Celtics or the Warriors?
From winning the finals?
From going to the finals? Because, like, You get there, anything can happen. But like,
Warriors are a bigger threat.
see, I feel like the Celtics are up there because they've got all these young guys locked up on rookie deals for 3-4 years, and then they're gonna re-sign over the bird. Like it's.
But dude, they have Kevin Durant, Steph Curry.
But they
Like,
can leave.
Warriors.
That's the thing is they can leave sooner than these Celtics guys. The only worry is Horford. Horford's getting old, and they're gonna need a replacement for that. But even then it's just 4-on-4.
But all the
like,
Warriors, like all of them have bought in. Like they've all those
exactly,
guys
and
have
that's what
bought
we're gonna have
into
to see
the
next
team
year.
aspect.
That's what we're gonna have to see next
So
year.
I don't think they're gonna leave.
But Stevens is great getting his guys to buy in. They just bought in to get to Game 7.
No, but what I'm saying is right now your worry is that the Celtics they're gonna stay longer in the team because they're on rookie deals, right?
I'm just saying if
but
I'm
the Warriors
LeBron-
have bought into like taking less money. So
One guy has.
Reports can surface all they want. Until they actually sign the dotted line, it doesn't matter. Ask DeAndre Jordan and Dylan's Clippers. They know. Until you sign the dotted line, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if Klay Thompson still leaves and goes to the Sixers, Lakers, wherever. His dad played in L.A. Philly is a fantastic spot for him to go to. Like, I think just because it's rumored that he's been talking extensions does not mean it's official.
until it happens.
Draymond, if he thought he was going to get traded 2 years ago. If he doesn't, I mean, he struggled this series. Like, I think that's pretty obvious. If he doesn't have a great series, do the Warriors throw him less money than he wants? He thinks, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different variables. I think Steph and KD are probably there for the long haul, but I think Klay and Draymond are both. What's going to happen with that?
And you gotta look at the actual cap numbers too. Steph Curry is locked up 5 years or 4 more years after this for $40 million a year. KD is taking less money, but I don't think he goes under like $25 million.
I was saying under 30.
Plus,
I don't think it's under 30.
even Andre Iguodala just signed a 3-year, $48 million deal last
You
offseason.
can move that, even though you probably shouldn't. You can't.
And
But
we've
you
seen
can.
how bad they are without
Yeah,
Andre
exactly,
Iguodala.
exactly, yeah.
I think the Celtics are a bigger threat also with you, Jason. I think you also have to watch out for the Sixers and even maybe the Pacers. The Pacers.
Wait, you said the Celtics with me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to look at the Sixers too. This was their first year in the playoffs, and they didn't even have Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
And then you also have to look at the Pacers, who just took the Cavs to 7 games earlier in this playoffs.
They're 2 stars away from being contenders, in my opinion. They're 2 stars away from being
I'm not
contenders.
saying, but
I
I'm not
think the
saying that
Sixers
they're
are
going to win a
interesting.
title anytime
No, yeah,
soon.
yeah.
I'm saying that they can compete with the Cavs.
And
The
if
Raptors
LeBron
always
wants to
flail
stay.
in the playoffs. They always choke. So I
Yeah,
think they're
but
big
like,
threat.
I'm just saying, I think if I'm LeBron, because all we've heard this whole year is why do you leave the East? Now that we've seen the playoffs go through, I mean, you think about it. It's not like Cleveland has a lot of cap space. Like, it's not like, oh, they can just fix up their roster next year. Like, Jordan Clarkson's a 4-year, $52 million deal or something like that.
George
Larry Nance
Hill,
Jr. still
Tristan
got
Thompson.
2 years. I just mean like the guys they brought in. Rodney Hood's expiring, so you let him go. You can probably flip somebody like Tristan Thompson if you have to, but like, do you because if he goes to the East, can we agree he's not going anywhere besides Philly or Cleveland in the East? He's either going to L.A. or Houston and Philly and Cleveland. I feel like you're the 4 obvious
Probably.
destinations.
Yeah.
So you look at in the West. I think you go to the Rockets if you're LeBron.
Yeah.
They went to 7 with the Warriors without a best
They
player.
still might beat them.
They could beat them.
They
Yeah,
could beat them.
I guess I'm assuming the Warriors are going to
I
win.
don't think you can go there if the Rockets beat him though. Then you're KD.
Then you're basically.
He doesn't care. I don't
Yes,
think
he
LeBron
does.
cares.
Yes, he does.
I don't think LeBron
He,
cares.
Yes, he does.
cares about his legacy. LeBron does.
It doesn't tarnish his legacy, though.
Yes, it does.
Kevin Durant's legacy is not tarnished.
Yes,
the
it
Warriors.
is.
It is.
So you're telling me you would rather take Kevin Durant with no titles in Oklahoma City if he never won a title in Oklahoma
But
City?
they could have easily
But say
won
he
it.
doesn't. Say
They
he
were-
doesn't
They were
win
up
one.
3-1.
But say he doesn't win one. Would you take his legacy of no titles or winning 3 or 4 with the Warriors?
No, but he would have won.
I'm
Like,
asking though. Say he doesn't.
that's not even realistic. Like
Yes,
he
it
would
is.
have won titles.
He was there for 7 years and didn't win one.
and they just were up 3-1 in the
And
series.
lost.
We're not gonna talk about this again.
LeBron already has a cemented.
Whatever. Back to LeBron.
LeBron already has a cemented legacy.
Back
though.
to LeBron.
That is
KD did
true.
not have one before.
Okay, back to LeBron. My argument is why he should go to the West. Whether it's if he goes to LA, they are not going to hang with the Warriors. They might
Right.
beat the Rockets. That's how I look at it. They might beat the Rockets, cannot hang with the Warriors. But
We're assuming they get Paul George.
if you go to Cleveland, I'm not sure they can hang with Philly or Boston next year. Because it just takes one star for Philly to be just in this conversation with Boston. And now it's 2 teams compared to 1. I don't think Houston's all that great, I'm saying with quotation marks, if they don't add anybody. I don't think they'll dethrone the Warriors if they don't do it this year. Because the Warriors will have their blueprint and they'll figure it out. I think this is the right the Rockets to do it if they don't add anybody. And Chris Paul is not a guarantee to come back. This is a sour way for him to end in Houston. He's a free agent after this year.
I don't see him leaving.
Why wouldn't he?
Why would he leave?
I
Who's he
mean,
going to go to?
He'd go to San Antonio. That's been rumored since he was in New Orleans that he wanted to go to San Antonio. I mean, that could just be smoke because everyone's going to San Antonio. But, I mean, you heard that a lot since he's been in New Orleans. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if the Rockets, if they don't get LeBron, if they're that high, so then it's just the Warriors they have to worry about. Or you have to worry about Philly and Boston, and it's not like Cleveland's going to get much better in the offseason. Unless you think Michael Porter Jr. is going to be a baller. Or whoever they get the 8th pick. But I think if LeBron stays, they don't keep the 8th pick. I think they should flip that for a star. Do we agree on that? They have to. Mm-hmm. Like, if they think they can get LeBron, you flip that 8th pick for Kemba or somebody.
They might have to give that pick in just to get some salaries away. I mean, they might have to throw that pick in with some of the salaries that they have on their roster just to get those salaries off their roster. If you follow me.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like what the Lakers did to get Mozgov off, like throwing Russell in. Okay. I think if I'm the Cavs, I am very interested in Kemba Walker. Flip Clarkson or Hill, whichever one they'll take, because they both have high contracts, and the 8th pick, and get Kemba. And then...
But, like, they're still not going to beat the Celtics.
No, I'm just saying in general. Like, that's... now I'm thinking of it from Dan Gilbert's perspective. That's my only way to keep LeBron. Let's say, look, we got you a star. But even then, it's like, cool, you have 1. The Rockets have 2. The Warriors have 4. They have 3. They have 3. You know what I mean? Like, I just think...
Honestly, the Rockets have 3 with Eric Gordon.
He's not a star. He's had 1 good series. And Dylan's the IU guy here, and he's not even thinking he's a star. If he bowls out in the finals and takes the Cavs to 7 and Chris Paul doesn't play and you know what I'm saying, like all of that, then maybe.
He's so far and away, like, if he was in the Cavs, he would be their second best player.
Yeah.
But the Cavs are bad, so.
JaVale McGee would probably be the second best player on the Cavaliers. Like, that's no, but like, I mean, there's a good debate that the Celtics had 6 better players before the second best player for the Cavs came in. Like, I mean, there's just stuff like that where the Cavs aren't all that attractive anymore.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's move on. So LeBron obviously had another easy run through the East with all those injuries to the Celtics and the Raptors choking once again in the playoffs. Do we think it's a 1-16 format?
Do we think it will be, or do we want to see it? Which one?
Both.
I don't think it will be. I think it should be. I would love to see a 1-16 matchup. I'm not going to say I would know how to do it because I think travel is a very good concern because this is one matchup I think would be really fun to watch, but travel-wise, Pacers-Blazers. That is almost the entire country going from up here to there. You have to go back, and so I think that is a concern, is this travel issue. But if they can figure that out, you've got to think about how much fun that would be. There would be actually even teams. Everyone loves March Madness. It's like one quarter of the bracket, and you just get to see how it plays out. And if it ended, like if they did it this year, Blazers-Pacers round 1 would be a great Game 7, I think, for sure. You see Vic have to go up against the backcourt. Round 2 would be Warriors-Cavs. And then round 3, or the championship or whatever, would be Rockets-Warriors. And that, I mean, I think everyone agrees Rockets-Warriors is the championship. So, like, I just feel like on the opposite side, it's hard to argue because this is just 1 year. Like, the rest of the NBA history's never been like this. But why not try it? I mean, you don't hurt anything from trying it. If you do it for 5-10 years and you go, this didn't work, let's go back. But, like, I think in concept, it looks fantastic.
I mean, I don't think it will happen. I don't think it should happen. Just for the fact that, like, in history, each conference has had their run. Like, you had the Lakers dominate the Celtics,
always gone back and forth.
The Bulls, you know.
See, I think you should try something new, though.
But I feel like if, like LeBron said when he was asked about this, like, if you change it, you're changing, like, the landscape of the NBA.
But I think
it's better. I think, why would you want to, or I say that you should change it.
The three-point line changed the history of the NBA. I'm not saying the same thing, but, like, that changed stats for everybody.
But, like, are they really... Do they really have the guts to change it for 5-10 years and then go back? If it
I don't know.
Like, go back. Like,
I mean, if it goes horribly. Like, if they realize, okay, this travel thing is crazy, like, we don't know how to get the Blazers and Pacers rested. I'm just using that because they're on opposite sides.
I think it would be fun. Like, don't get me wrong,
exactly, that's what I'm saying. I want it to happen. I don't think it will, but I think I want it to. Like, it'd be so fun to watch. And you get better matchups all the time. And the first round is so much fun then.
I mean, you could even do it like March Madness, have, like, a certain...
Neutral sites.
Yeah, neutral sites, regions. Make it sort of like that, obviously.
Let me get that bracket up.
Neutral sites because then, like, I don't know, the home court advantage wouldn't be a thing.
Which is huge in the NBA. I think it's bigger in the NBA than any other sport.
Yeah.
Let me try to find it.
There's plenty of ways you can think about this, but it'd definitely be so much more fun. And like Jason said, so many more exciting matchups. Teams that don't ever get to play each other will get to play each other. And the first thing I thought of was March Madness also. So
Yeah, I just like everyone loves when you get to see those things, and I think it creates more upsets because it's like I can't find where I found it because I had a bracket pulled up. I don't know where I put it, but it like all of the matchups are very interesting.
Well, another reason why I don't think it will happen is because if they do neutral sites, that would just destroy small market teams because. Like, if you have, the Lakers going up against
the Warriors.
The Nets, or, like, just against the Nets, and if it's a neutral site, not 80% of the fans there will be Lakers fans. So it'll be like a Lakers home game.
I mean, heck, the Warriors 4 years ago would probably be arguing, hey, it's not going to be like, no, I mean, like, on their rise.
They can't do neutral.
I mean, I think it's interesting. So, like, so you're saying, like, you put, like, 4 teams per site?
possibly.
So that would be 4 different sites. That's not bad. But, like, you look at these matchups, Cavs, Pelicans, round 1. Fantastic matchup. LeBron versus Anthony Davis. Like, great matchup there. Warriors, Nuggets would probably be a blowout. But, I mean, whatever. Trailblazers, Pacers. Raptors, Heat. Because both teams are kind of, like,
Buns.
we're just kind of good throughout the regular season. And then we suck in the playoffs. Sixers, Spurs. New versus old. Celtics, Timberwolves. Both young guys running up and down the floor. Thunder, Jazz, we already saw. And Rockets, Bucks. Giannis and Harden. Like, you know what I mean?
Also, the regular season matters a lot more.
Exactly.
If you do that,
That's true.
the regular season means absolutely nothing right now. To teams
Doesn't
like the
mean
Cavs,
nothing.
It means less. It means less.
Did you
I mean,
watch
the Warriors
Cavs?
are a perfect example of what he's saying, though. I don't know what you're going to say about the Cavs. Like, the Warriors
The
came out
Cavs
and
were the
said-
4 seed. They didn't care about the regular season. They traded their whole team halfway through the season and still are in the finals.
Yeah,
It does not
They were like
matter.
dumpster fire.
No, yeah, that's
as, like
fair.
Tim Legler said.
But, like, I mean, the Warriors, you saw them. They did not care at all about the regular season. They, like, basically said it. They said it every way they could without saying it. They said, the regular season doesn't matter. We're focused on the playoffs. It was obvious throughout the entire season. Heck, their players coached a game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know what he's saying. So this definitely makes people put more emphasis on the regular season. That's why you love college football, because every single game matters. And obviously, every single game would not matter in an 82-game series or schedule, but more of them would matter. And so I think it would be so fun to watch. I don't think it happens though in the next 3-4 years.
Anyway, for the Cavs, who do you want to face more in the finals, the Rockets or the Warriors?
I want to face the Rockets if I'm the Cavs. I just think that, like, once again, like, having those 4 All-Stars in the Warriors, there's way too many options you have to take into account for. And I just think that the Rockets will be way, like, more manageable team to play against. Even though I don't think they're going to win, more manageable.
Yeah, I think it's Rockets just due to their inexperience. I think they don't have the finals toughness that the Warriors do. I mean, when the
They
lights come
beat
on
the
for
Warriors
game
in
1
2 tough
in
games.
the finals, it's all like nothing matters. When the finals start, nothing else matters. Like, it is every game, every possession matters more than any possession you've ever played in your life. Like, it's just such a different atmosphere. And Chris Paul, James Harden, Eric Gordon don't have that experience. And I think if I'm LeBron, I can use that kid just like the Celtics. Obviously, they're better, but like it's the same situation.
I'm also going to say the Rockets, but it's not for the experience or toughness kind of thing. It's just the Rockets are a more inconsistent shooting team. That when they get hot, they're much hotter than the Warriors, but when they are cold, they are cold. And if that happens more than one game in a row, LeBron can possibly steal more than one game. I think we all can agree if they play the Rocket or if they play the Warriors, it's going to be one game max for the Cavs.
Yeah.
1 to 2, but yeah, I think there's potential. LeBron gets 2 at home, but I think it's not. I don't think it's a series. Like, I don't think it's a series that can go to 6 without being a series. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the Western Conference Finals. It is Game 7 tonight. So, guys, what do the Rockets have to do to win?
They have to have CP3 play. I mean, they really can't control that at all, but that would help tremendously. I think without CP3, they don't stand a chance. But if he doesn't play, they need Eric Gordon to go for at least 25, and they need another person besides Harden to go for 20 plus. So whether it's Ariza, Capella, they need 2 guys besides Harden to go for 20 plus, and then Harden also needs 40 plus, in my opinion. And they need to keep up their stingy defense, and they need the Warriors to have an off shooting night. So that's a lot to ask
So basically,
for.
you're giving them no chance.
Yeah, I don't think it's a chance without CP3.
That's crazy.
With CP3, they easily could win.
Okay.
Not easily, but
There's no debate here.
My bad.
CP3 is not healthy.
Let me say something.
Okay.
If he plays, they're still going to lose, but they have a lot better chance.
No, I see what you're saying. I wasn't going to argue with that part. I'm saying I'm not sure CP3 matters that much, because if he plays, he's not going to be able to do anything that productive. if he's doubtful right now, if he was doubtful yesterday, I'd say whatever. He's doubtful this morning. That means if he plays, he is, I mean, obviously this is my guess, 50, 60, at best 70%.
Well, you still have to respect him. Also has the
True.
leadership.
And that's what I was talking with your brother with yesterday, is about how, like, you still have to respect his name and what he can do. But I don't think it's a matter of they have no chance to, they have a good chance. I think it's they have no chance.
No, okay.
They could win if everything goes right.
That's what I meant to say. That's
Yeah,
what
okay.
I meant to say.
I got you.
Yeah.
I think they have a chance, though. I think it stays close. I said that about last game. Didn't happen. I think the Rockets have figured out some sort of formula to the Warriors. But what has to happen, I think, a role player not named Eric Gordon has to put up over 25, and he has to star. I think Gordon and Harden both need 25 plus for sure. I think they have to have three guys. Yeah, I know. When you said that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't think Harden needs 40. I think all three of those guys need over 25. I think Eric Gordon, James Harden, and somebody else needs to have 25 plus.
I think Harden needs more than
maybe the third 20
25.
plus, but 20, 25 plus. I think Harden's fine if he puts up 25, 30.
25 and not winning.
25-30, Gordon puts up 25-30, and PJ Tucker puts up 25-30. I think they've got a shot. That's 90 right there.
Yeah, I think for the Rockets, they have to have CB3 play, and he has to be at least 75%. If that doesn't happen, if that doesn't happen, they're going to need a lot of things. You're right, as you guys mentioned. One thing that I think they definitely have to do is guard Klay Thompson and Steph Curry well. Klay Thompson was the reason that the Warriors weren't down 30 at halftime in Game 6. Steph Curry got incredibly hot in the second half. KD, he was terrible.
I didn't even look at his stats. How do you do?
He was not good all game long.
I'll look.
So the Warriors or the Rockets have figured out a way to slow down KD, but if Klay gets hot like he did in Game 6, then I don't think the Rockets have really any chance, especially in that second half. All right, sorry for the technical difficulties. We are right back, though. So what do you guys think the Warriors need to win?
It sounds like we all think they're going to win. So I think as long as they play their style, don't get lazy, and don't get complacent. Like, as long as they just keep that aggressiveness, even if they get up 20, stay in the zone, realize it's Game 7, you're away. That's the big thing, is they're away. And we just talked about home court advantage. That's why I think the Rockets keep it close, because Houston's showing out tonight. Like, if you live in Houston, you're coming to this game because this is the biggest game for your city.
And you can afford it.
Well, obviously, I'm saying, like, this is the biggest game for your city. Obviously, went through that huge hurricane earlier this year. Like, this is just a big Houston moment. So I feel like, for me, they have to play their style. I've talked about this so many times in there. They have to use this Curry and KD pick and roll and constantly move the ball. No more ISOs.
Yeah, I agree with you. As well as just maintain your composure in the hostile environment and shoot with confidence. I think if they do that,
they don't have an issue shooting with confidence. They are always with confidence. It's just a matter of should they have confidence. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mentioned this in the Rockets side of things, that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson have to shoot bad. But if those two shoot well for the Warriors, I think the Rockets don't have any chance if CP3 plays or he doesn't. Another thing for the Warriors, you got to hope that Iguodala plays. They really struggled in Games 5 and 6, or in Games 4 and 5, without having Iguodala. So if he plays, that'd be a huge boost for them. But if Chris Paul isn't at least 75%, I think the Warriors get it done. If Chris Paul is 75% or better, I'm taking the Rockets.
Really?
But see, this is the thing. Do you want Iggy to play for the Warriors? All of us are pretty confident they're going to win. Keep him out. You have till Thursday then. It's almost like it's crazy to say, like, oh, they've got Game 7. But, like, they kind of do. Like, we all think they do. And so, like, keep him active, but do not play him unless you need him almost, is what I think. And the same thing with Chris Paul. I heard this today. They're like, you don't have to say he's not going to play. Like, just don't say anything about him. Make them both active, and if you need them, put them in. You know what I mean? Like, Chris Paul, don't play him the first quarter. Have everyone wondering.
I think you have to make him active no matter what.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, when he wasn't active, he was still on his game stuff. Then Game 6, like, keep them both active, and if you have to play them, like, say Jordan Bell is just buns and can't do anything, and Kevin Looney, who I already tweeted about, is awful. If they're not doing anything, and you're like, okay, we're down by 10, 6 minutes to go, Iggy, go in there and lock somebody up. You do it. Chris Paul, same thing. You know what I mean? Like. Maybe you can probably speak more on that than I can. Like, does that mess with the player's head in that way.
So you're saying don't play CB3?
Just tell him, like, we're not going to play you unless we need you.
No, you got to start him.
Like, he has to
Yeah,
play.
if you're a player, you got to start. You don't want to sit out the first quarter and then try to go in the second quarter, try to adjust to the game. That's way too late. You got to play.
So you have to
start him.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's where, like, because, like, conceptually, it's like, oh, let's just play him when you need him. So that's why, okay.
No, you have to start him.
Okay.
All right, so enough for that series. I think we all have the Warriors, unless
I got them by 12. I think it stays close, but then, like we've seen, they extend it third quarter, extend it fourth, Rockets chip back, but 12
I got them by like 6 or 8.
6 or 8.
Yeah, I'm the same way, unless Chris Paul's over 75%.
Do you think he is?
Probably not.
I was going to say, I feel like he's not doubtful if he's 75%. I feel like he's probably 50 to 60.
All right. Well, let's move into some rumors real quick before we get done here today. So, first thing, the Raptors are exploring all options with DeMar DeRozan, including the possibility of a trade. What should the Raptors do?
There aren't any options. That's my thing. Is like this has been a big thing I've said for the Blazers, Raptors, and Wizards. Conceptually, like we just talked about, it makes a lot of sense. Trade DeRozan, change this roster, but there's nothing you can really do. Like no team is gonna give you a good asking price on DeRozan, and you're not gonna get face value for him. So you might as well keep him and just hope like heck that they figure it out. Like there's just no reason to trade him because you're never gonna get what he's worth. And same thing with Damian Lillard or CJ McCollum if you want to break them up, or John Wall and Bradley Beal if you're going to break them up. You're never going to get face value for them, and so it's better than getting maybe a mid-first rounder and an average wing. Like, they're not going to get much for him, I don't think. Like, what market goes, ooh, we're just one guard away, because all the average teams have great guards besides the Pelicans, and they have no money. You know what I mean? So, like, I just don't think there's a market for him.
I mean, I think you keep him because, like, something needs to change in the organization. So, like, they fired the coach. I don't know if that was the right decision.
I don't, but
that's
a different topic.
Something needs to change, but I don't. It's like they're not going to get face value for him. And
exactly.
Like, if you trade DeMar DeRozan, you're basically going to have a rebuild.
But then what do you do with Lowry?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep.
There's nothing you can do. They don't have their first round pick this year. They gave it to Brooklyn. It's like 30th, but still.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no reason to do it.
I think you have to explore your options, though. If it doesn't make sense to trade him, then don't. But if you could possibly get a nice package, then I think
like what?
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Like what package? You don't have to give me specific names, but like what kind of do you want?
Like something that could include like the 10th pick from the Sixers, and like if JJ Redick was on a longer deal, maybe him or.
That's not face value for DeMar DeRozan, in my opinion. He's a top 3 shooting guard, top 5.
But he doesning do anything in the playoffs.
But he got you the first seed in the Eastern Conference. Like you can't
or
discount
like the
65
Cavs,
wins.
The Cavs that started with that 8th pick. I think something like that.
You know what we're saying though? Like there's just no good trade out there, and so yes, the Cavs make sense, but the Cavs have nothing to offer. That's the reason they don't have a second best player that you can name besides Kevin Love, but he's not even healthy. Like there's just nothing there, and you're not going to trade him for just the 10th pick, obviously. Mm-hmm. And like from the Sixers' perspective, they're not giving up Markelle Fultz for him.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I'm just saying it's not the worst thing to explore a trade.
Except for that it probably messes with his psyche. Like I'm sure that any basketball player will tell you if you're hearing that your team doesn't want you, it doesn't make you feel great. Like
I mean,
they're used to it. Yes, it's a business. I get all of that, but like I don't know. I just feel like don't even talk about it. There's no option
for the
play.
It's stepping on the court in the playoffs messes with his psyche, but
I'm just saying it's facts that there's nothing out there.
All right, so let's move on. Marcus Smart. After the game, he was asked some questions, and he said a reporter told him that he'd be worth about 12 to 14 million in free agency, and he said it's worth more. How much would you guys pay Marcus Smart?
I said I would do probably max. Like if I had to, like I was one shooting guard away, I said 3-year, $45 million max. He's a great 3-and-D guy who is huge in this series defensively. Like, there's no debate that he is a great defender. He can't really shoot that well, though, and so I don't think he's worth that much, especially in the market that we have now. And I love talking about this kind of stuff, like the market value and face value of all these different guys. I think 12 to 14 is the best range he's going to find. I think if the longer he waits, the lower it's going to go. So I think he's got to sign a deal by, like, July 30 if he wants more than that. But if not, I think 12 to 14 is the highest he's going to get.
But 12 to 14 is not even that much money. In nowadays.
But if you look at this, but like the cap room for players, there isn't any.
Like the Pacers
this summer, it's going to be really
It's
tight.
stingy. Besides the Mavericks, Pacers, Lakers. There's like 7 teams that can offer guys a max.
Yeah, I was just thinking because like the Pacers offered Alex Everson like a $10 million a year contract.
But that was in the year of spending, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in a year where everyone was spending
That was the
money
same year
too.
as Mozgov, right? Wasn't that the whole big year
I
with
believe
like
it
him
was.
and Bismack and
It was.
yeah, it was because they all thought. So like the reason was they all thought the cap was going to go up to like they was going to keep trending up and up and up, and then it flattened, and they all were like, "Oh shit, we just gave Mozgov $16 million a year." Like that's the problem is that no one has money now, and so like his best chance is that Dallas misses out on all those guys and go, "Hey, let's get another average guard." Like you know what I mean? Like his best bet at getting a lot of money is gonna be a team that's just like, "Screw it, we have money. We're one of few teams, and no one wants to come play for us."
Yeah, I mean, like a team like the Kings, I think could maybe offer him that type of deal.
That doesn't
like
make
you
sense for
mentioned.
them, though. I feel like. Do you think so?
I'm not.
Player wise, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. Fit wise, like money wise, it makes
I
sense.
mean, maybe the shooting wouldn't be great alongside of Deere and Fox, those two in the
It'd be
backcourt.
horrible. I would really never watch a
Yeah.
Kings game in my life. They could not shoot.
But in terms of the mentality of a young team like the Kings, who really their whole franchise is just not that great, they need somebody to kind of come in and instill that leadership. Someone who's been to these conference finals, is a great competitor like Marcus Smart, and is still young, has money to offer. I think if you're one guard away and have some good shooting throughout the rest of your roster, it's not terrible to offer.
The Cavs
Marcus
aren't
Smart.
a terrible idea if they had room. The Cavs would be a nice fit, I think. Put Marcus Smart on that Cavs team. He can fill in that 2 role, so that way JR can focus on shooting and not be a bum on defense. Like you just give, I think there are teams, but the problem's money, and he's not going to want to take less money. It sounds like so. I think it's interesting, and as we get going more into free agency, we'll start to really see where these guys' values go.
Yeah, I mean, he might be screwing himself if he tries to wait for this offer.
That's what I'm saying. The longer he waits, it might never be there. The longer he waits, he will make less and less money. It happens every year.
All right, anyway, let's move on to Kawhi Leonard. Danny Green says he wants to stay with the Spurs. Are you buying it?
I don't think he wants to stay with the Spurs personally, because if he wanted to, then he would have gotten healthy and played this year. So I think he left his teammates out on a limb, and so if he really wanted to play with him, I think he would have played.
I don't think it's that simple. I think it's a matter of he's upset with the Spurs. I think that's obvious that he was not very happy with the Spurs, but I don't think he's giving up on the Spurs. I think it's a matter of he's going to go where the money and the stability is. But the thing is, the Spurs are known for the past 2 decades of being that franchise of stability. So I think it's interesting. His situation is interesting because he's a quiet, laid-back guy, so it doesn't make sense to be like, oh, well, let's go to the Knicks or the Lakers because they're like the star market.
I mean, he wants to go to LA. That's what the
No,
rumors are saying.
I just am saying in general, like it's not like he has that
Everyone's
Shaquille
like
O'Neal, LeBron. They want to be a star, movie star, as well as like he doesn't have that off the court stuff. So like I think there are fits. I feel like if I'm Philly, I'm optimistic about him. But at the same time, if I'm San Antonio, I feel like I'm not giving up because this could just be a fluke year. He was frustrated. They figured it out in the offseason. I mean, you remember LaMarcus Aldridge? Everyone thought he was gone for sure. He's ruining the Spurs. Pop had a conversation with him, and now they're fine. And he's balling.
Well, yeah, I think the Spurs should definitely keep on trying, continue to try to get him.
I think both
he's done
sides
with them.
are frustrated but not ready to give up, is where I look at it. I think you should go where the money and the stability is. And if they offer him the Supermax, I think he takes it.
Yeah, I mean, how can you turn that down?
Isn't it 219?
Something like
If
that.
they offer him
219.
that, I think he
Yeah.
might say
But yeah, I think there's still a big potential for him to get traded though this offseason if he really is unhappy.
You have to judge it though. Like I think you have to wait till the regular season, don't you?
No.
Because like, what if he's fine?
All the big deals happen around draft time, free agency time. And I mean the Spurs got to make the rest of their team for next season. Like if they're getting a draft pick in the trade back, they want to take their guy in this draft.
Like number 10, you're thinking?
Something like that. If they want to go to the Sixers,
That's
12
that's
and
the
13
easy
if it's the
fit.
Clippers.
The easy fit is Philly. It just makes so much sense if you're Philly. But what do you give up? I mean, I put that trade out on Twitter where like they give up Markelle Fultz, the 10th pick. I think it's good for both sides. I just think if I'm the Spurs, I want to keep Kawhi at least until the trade deadline next year to see if we can figure it out. Because they're known for being the stable franchise in all of the NBA. So I think they have to bank on themselves on this one.
All right, last thing today, the All-NBA teams. So I'll go ahead and read them real quick. LeBron James, James Harden, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, and Kevin Durant made the first team. Mm-hmm. Second team, Giannis, Russell Westbrook, Joel Embiid, LaMarcus Aldridge, and DeMar DeRozan. Mm-hmm. And the third team, Steph Curry, Victor Oladipo, Karl Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler, and Paul George. What do we think?
I watched a lot of television about it because it was a few days ago. And the two debates I really heard a lot of was Damian Lillard versus Russell Westbrook and Durant versus Giannis. I side on the side of Russell over Damian. I mean, if he averaged triple-double, say what you want about, like, whether he stat chased or whatever, but, like, he still averaged a triple-double. It's not, like, easy to do if you stat chase. I don't hate it, though. I'm not, like, pissed that Russell didn't get in. I think, like, Dame's a baller, don't get me wrong, and I think he'd definitely be second team if he wasn't first, but that's the debate I can get with. I don't understand at all the Durant-Giannis debate. Like, Durant is a much better player than Giannis, and Giannis he has such a great situation. He never does anything in the playoffs, yet everyone loves him. Like, literally, he has not won a playoff series, and yet every single person in America loves him. And
I think it's just how far he's come as a player, like how terrible he was when he first got in the NBA, and now he's...
But, like, he's not... Like, now he's a star. This was the year they should have dethroned the Celtics. Say what you want about how they made it to the conference finals, but we all picked, I think, the Bucks beating the Celtics in, like, 5 or 6. Because the Bucks have so much talent with Jabari Parker and Eric Bledsoe and all those guys that are good enough to win one round in the playoffs, and they still couldn't do it. I don't get the Antetokounmpo over Durant thing. And the only other one that I was surprised not to see was John Wall. I understand he was hurt, but I thought John Wall I'd give him the nod over Victor Oladipo.
John Wall didn't even get a vote.
I know.
Nobody voted.
I know. I don't get that because, I mean, he carried the Wizards for a lot of the year.
Yeah, they also went 5-0 with him out, but...
They won a lot more than 5 games. They played like 2 months without him. That's the thing. I think injuries is what hurt him. It's because he was out for so long.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like these teams. Although I would have Russell Westbrook ahead of Damian Lillard, but besides that, I'm fine.
Yeah. And here's my thing. And I think in people's minds for Russell Westbrook, they see last year they had the same result when it was just him on his team, and now he brings in Paul George and Carmelo Anthony on his team too, and they don't win any more games. They look really bad at some points this season and get knocked out in the first round. So
Lillard got swept though.
Thunder went 6 or 7.
Yeah, Lillard got swept.
But the thing is, that's what you forget though. Is playoffs don't matter. Playoffs don't matter at all. They vote at the end of the regular season.
Mm-hmm. And the Blazers had a great.
Do you guys like
season.
that?
I don't mind it. I think you have to announce. I think I heard this somewhere. I don't remember where. I watched too much TV, obviously, but they said like there's no reason not to announce it after the regular season because now people are disrespecting guys like Dame because he hasn't played since early or to late April. Like I think if you're gonna do it at the end of the season, announce it that week. Like you're not getting anything. Like the suspense isn't killing anyone. Everyone knows who's gonna be it for the most part. Like just announce it when you can.
But like, do you think that they should wait till the end of the playoffs?
I do. I said the same thing about the NFL MVP.
Too.
When we did this in the fall, I said the same thing about the NFL MVP because if I think it was Aaron Rodgers. I was saying like if he goes to the Super Bowl, he's the MVP. No, it was 2 years ago. It was
and,
if Aaron Rodgers did, but
more
Matt
important than the regular season. That's why you play the regular season to get the postseason.
But the MVP is for the most valuable player, and it's supposed to be all 30 teams or all 32 teams or whatever.
But they all 30 teams had a shot to get the playoffs.
I'm just saying, I understand both sides. I don't hate it as much. It's just whenever you do it. If you're going to do the postseason, then it's fine to announce it now.
You're never going to pick an MVP on a team that doesn't make the playoffs.
Russell Westbrook was a 7 seed.
No, you're never going to pick an MVP.
I know, but Russell Westbrook
from
was
a team
that
does not make the playoffs, but they're in the playoffs.
I know, that's what I was. But still, I know what you're saying.
All right, last thing with the All-NBA teams. I just want to read a few of the guys that got votes because there's always some stupid ones every year. Trevor Ariza got a vote for the All-NBA third team. So did Dwight Howard.
That one I don't hate as much. He had a good year, but not. Obviously.
And despite missing more than half the season, both DeMarcus Cousins and Kristaps Porzingis got a vote. So
I mean, they were ballers and they were healthy. But I think
how many games did Kristaps
the Ariza one's funny.
Like less than 30, I think.
The Ariza one's funny because like what? Like he's not even doing anything in this series. Like
why do those people like have like the responsibility of making the All-NBA teams when they vote for Trevor Ariza? Like that guy, why do they pick that guy? He should be immediately fired from that position.
Dude, the rookie ones was even worse. I'm trying to see if I can find that. Did you guys look at the rookie votes?
No.
Literally every rookie got a vote almost. Like it was stupid the amount of like rookies that got votes. I'm trying to find it real fast because it is like embarrassing how many people got votes. And it was like I don't even remember where I saw it, but it was guys that like barely started and like I think OG was a guy that didn't get in. I'm trying to see. This is a picture. Let's see if it's on the bottom. This is really awkward. Now I'm trying to find it, but it was bad. Like I think it was even worse than that because at least those guys like have big names. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like these guys literally had no future whatsoever and like barely played. But then like there were guys like obviously I watch the Lakers a lot, so like it's different. But like Josh Hart did not get one vote, and I'm like, how? Because every other rookie on any other team, I think Harry Giles might have got a vote. I actually think he got a vote. Like there's no reason that he
Did Jared Allen?
Yep. I remember he got a vote. Like I'm trying to see. Come on, show me. Jordan Bell got votes, but that's not like crazy or anything. Oh, Sindarius Thornwell got some votes. Milos
He's a
Teodosic
baller.
He had
got
that
some votes.
sick poster.
Yeah.
Sindarius Thornwell.
Oh yeah, that's worth the first team.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, here we go. I think I got it. So, you ready for this? Bam Adebayo, that's fine. De'Aaron Fox, OG, Jared Allen. Dylan Brooks got 14. He played fine on Memphis for a while.
Yeah, he was like their best player.
Jordan Bell. You ready for this? This is where it gets bad. Royce O'Neal.
Who is that?
Exactly.
On the Jazz.
You're telling me he's worth 4 votes.
He like honestly
Literally
played
did
minutes
nothing.
for playoffs.
He was like the
Who
ninth
would
man
pick
on the
Royce
Jazz.
O'Neal over like other players, like you know what I'm saying?
Zach Collins barely got minutes. Milos Teodosic was
Goat.
hurt for more than
So
exactly.
he's great. He's
Luke
amazing.
Kennard did nothing. Frank Mason III did nothing. Malik Monk barely played the first half of the season. Frank Ntilikina, Semi Ojeleye got a vote. Sindarius Thornwell,
Goat.
like just all these guys where it's like, how did someone think, oh, they deserve it?
Yeah.
It's just
How many rookie teams do they have? 2?
I wish they did 3. It'd be cool. But also, then those guys would actually like be on the team. It'd be
But
embarrassing.
not many rookies like play.
I think it's easier to say I want 3 in a year where this is like the best rookie class since 03. But like last year's rookie class, if they did 3 teams, it'd be like, you played 1 game, you get on the
Right,
third team.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like this is just an extremely deep class.
All right. Anyway, that's gonna do it for our episode today. Make sure you check us out on Periscope, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter at The Sports Sermon, and join us on Wednesday for our next episode. So, see you guys then.
Yep. See you guys.